Alright, a pretty sloppy game for the Bulls, especially against a depleted Blazers team that was without a lot of their key rotational players, but give this Blazers team credit, man, because even despite being shorthanded as of late, they've still been playing extremely hard and have exceeded expectations from where people thought they were going to land on the season and actually having a shot at making the play-in tournament out west. But even still, the Bulls were a little out of sorts throughout this game when it came to some of their turnovers, giving up way too many second chance opportunities to the Blazers, allowing them to get 19 offensive rebounds in total. I know they have Donovan Clingan, who is one of the better offensive rebounders in the game with his size, but it was kind of getting to a ridiculous point where the Bulls just weren't boxing out or would come to them and they couldn't squeeze the board. But then also the Bulls' overall shooting, particularly their finishing in the paint, was really bad, especially in the first half. The Bulls finally shored up that a bit in the second half when it came to taking better care of the ball, taking higher percentage shots, and actually hitting their shots. But even when it got to that point where you thought, okay, the Bulls have this game under control now, especially when they outscored the Blazers 40-29 in the third quarter, but then the game ended up going down to the wires. The Bulls got a little complacent at the end, weren't hustling back on defense and closing out on shooters, and the Blazers nearly made a comeback to win this game. When they took that three away from Kobe, which would have given him the record, by the way, for most threes in a season in Bulls history, beating his own record from last season, that completely shifted the momentum at the end of this game in those final minutes. I still don't really understand how that's allowed. Like, unless it's a play being challenged or the ref indicates we need to review that at the break right after the shot is taken, I don't see how they can go in after the fact and say he stepped on the line, we're taking that basket away. Like, it's one thing if you're reviewing a three that might have been a two with the foot on the line, but if the refs miss a player stepping out of bounds and they don't call it, I don't see how that can be allowed, that they can reverse that call after the fact if it's not being challenged by the other team. I don't know, someone needs to explain that one to me, but it ended up not mattering because the Bulls won, but it damn near shifted the outcome of the game as the Blazers went on a 10-0 run after that. Kobe will get that record. That's not really an issue. He has 5 more games left to make just 1 3. I just took more issue that the basket was taken away on a missed out of bounds call by the refs. Kobe still ended up having a great game though, a much better second half, but that was really the case for everyone as the Bulls really struggled in the first half as a whole. But Kobe, another 30-plus point game, 31 points in this one, got to the foul line 12 times. He continues to utilize that to his advantage in getting inside and drawing contact to get some easy offense. 9 for 16 from the floor, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Kobe just had some bad turnovers in this game in the first half, some mental lapses that helped keep the Blazers around in this one. Vucevic had a 30-piece in this game, which I figured would likely be the case as the Blazers were without DeAndre Ayton, and he was going to be going up against a rookie that isn't as quick and athletic. Clingan did play decently well though against Vooch, and he did outwork him when it came to grabbing those offensive rebounds, but Vooch started off this game really hot, was really the only Bull that had a strong first half, ended up finishing the game with 31 points on 13 for 22 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. He actually tallied his 200th double-double as a Chicago Bull. I would have liked to see more minutes from Zach Collins or hell, even Jalen Smith. I think that's really the only thing that I've taken issue with as the season closes is that Nikola Vucevic is getting the bulk of minutes. Still, the priority should probably be given to these younger guys, especially when we saw they actually played well in that span where Vucevic was out for a stretch post the All-Star break. And then Josh Giddey did not shoot the ball well. Had trouble finishing around the rim, something we saw a lot of at the beginning of the season, but he certainly turned things around in the second half. The shots weren't going down for him, so getting others involved on offense, grabbing the boards and pushing it in transition. That football pass on the outlet to Kobe White where he threw that thing down in the fourth quarter on a much needed basket to end the Blazers run was a thing of beauty, a play that secured his 6th triple-double of the season, the most in a single season by a Chicago Bull since Michael Jordan. But what I like seeing from Giddey in this was actually the 19 rebounds. 19 rebounds for a guard is so impressive, and it really demonstrates his hustle and wherewithal on the court to put himself in the best position to grab the board. But not only the rebounds, but also getting to the line, drawing the contact. He wasn't finishing, could have had a couple and ones there, but he got to the line consistently where he was driving inside. He got nearly half of his points that way at the free throw line. 15 points in total for Giddey, 19 rebounds and 12 assists, and actually was a team high, a plus 10 when he was on the court playing more minutes than any other player tonight at 39. And then our guy, Matas Buzelis, Buzelis got his first double-double of his career with 12 points and 12 rebounds. rebounds. He also had 3 blocks, but what impressed me the most about Modest Buzelis in this game was that big time 3 he hit in the clutch when the Bulls needed it most. But not just the fact that he hit that 3, but that he still took it with confidence after airballing a 3 shortly before that. Having the confidence to still put that shot up and not letting the prior airball shake him was what got me. Like, I can tell you for a fact that had Patrick Williams airballed a 3 and he found himself open to take another one shortly thereafter, he for sure is passing that up or doing some weird dribble drive where he gets halfway to the basket and then kicks it out to someone else. Anyway, I know I'm throwing some strays here at Patrick Williams, but it just speaks to the confidence level of Modest Buzelis and him not being afraid of the moment for a 20-year-old rookie. But anyway, strong game from Modest, 12 points, 12 boards. Like I said, he was 5 for 10 from the floor, 2 for 4 from 3, and was a +8 in this game. Finally got to see Modest close out a game that was actually close. There wasn't really much doing for the Bulls on the bench tonight. I mean, Patrick Williams missed another dunk. How many times have we seen that? THT was trying to get as many points as he possibly could when he was out there, and sure, did well doing so, but nothing too exciting. I mean, the guys off the bench didn't get much playing time in general. Billy Donovan really rode with his starters throughout this game. Still crazy to me that Jalen Smith just hasn't been getting any playing time, especially for a player that was one of their main free agency acquisitions from the summer. You know what's insane is that the Bulls, they got destroyed on the possession battle in this matchup. The Blazers put up 115 shots to the Bulls 87. Talk about a massive discrepancy. It's actually shocking the Bulls won this game when they got up nearly 30 less shots than their opponent did. The Blazers just really struggled from the field. They shot 38%, 26% from 3. So with this win, the Bulls now jump up to 9th in the standings, moving ahead of the Miami Heat, only a game and a half back of the Atlanta Hawks for 8th. And they've got a pretty easy schedule ahead of them, so there is a world where they could maybe creep up into that 8th spot, which would mean they would have 2 chances of getting into the playoffs in the play-in tournament. But we'll wait and see how these next 5 games go to close out the regular season. Bulls are off tomorrow, and then they have a day game against the Hornets on Sunday. Let me know what you guys thought of the game tonight. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.